Welcome to another episode of Behind the Dreamers. I'm Jennifer Loading, and we are talking to the achievers, the creators, the magic makers, and the dreamers. These are our friends, these are your friends, and they are living the extraordinary. I want to open up with a quote today. The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others, and that is by Gandhi. All right, so my guest today has been a financial advisor, a multiple business owner. She says her experiences have prepared her to engage in many business industries effectively, but her servant's heart is the gift she prides herself on the most. She loves to serve. So you guys are in for a treat today. But before we do that and bring her on, we have to do a shout out to our sponsors. So today's episode is brought to you by Walt Mills Photography. If you are a creator needing post-production, consultation, or promotion, Walt Mills is your guy. Whether short films, YouTube films, photography work, or a new headshot, he can help you find a solution to match your needs. To learn more about Walt and his work, go to photosbywalt.com. We also want to give a shout out to our friend Chris Clow of Upbeat Media Productions. If you are in need of turnkey special event production, Clow is your go-to. You can learn more about him at upbeatmediapro.com. All right, so it's time to get our guest on the show. Super excited to bring her on today. Melanie Jones is the owner and founder of Frisco Gift Basket Company, a business corporate gifting service that provides a solution to market penetration, increased closing averages, and solid client retention. As a mother of two, one of which is autistic, Melanie says she's grateful every day and wishes to give to others in any way she can. Whether it's sharing her story, being a support to other parents of autistic kids, giving to Operation Underground Railroad, or sharing some of her business acumens, she is here to talk and walk with you as we journey together. So welcome to Behind the Dreamers, Melanie. We're super thrilled to have you here today.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm so excited to be here. I appreciate this opportunity.
We are going to get this right today. Second time's a charm, right? So to our audience, I'm just going to be like,
technology's great when it works.
Yes, I'm just going to be like raw and authentic. Like Jennifer is challenged when it comes to technology sometimes, and sometimes we just exactly. Sometimes we just don't get it right. So for our guest, we are recording this again because somehow our recording just decided to stop. So
maybe later you can edit it together. We'll work it out.
Exactly. So I'm excited to have you here. You're an awesome person doing great things. I know you've got a couple businesses happening right now. So I want to open this up and talk about what you're doing. Tell us a little bit about this gift basket and what's going on right now with Melanie.
Sure. Okay. So the Frisco Gift Basket Company is evolving. We're taking the basket out because I don't really put anything in a basket. I've been in gifting since 2005. And when we moved here in 2015, my son, who has autism, wasn't transitioning very well. And I knew I had to take a break. So I put the brakes on. And it gave me an opportunity to examine everything going on in Frisco. Demographics, what businesses were coming in, what industries were here. How did I see myself now at this point? It was a great opportunity to rebrand and take a very focused approach. And I've been very intentional ever since. And so it took a year to do that. And then that's how I came up with my name. I knew I wanted Frisco in there because the city of Frisco was all over the news. They were all over everywhere. Best place to live, best place to raise a family. Best place to buy a house if you're a young family, right? We hit every category. Frisco's checking all the boxes. Then all of a sudden we're hearing we're sports capital USA. And I knew that hospitality and professional sports were the industries that I wanted to target first. So kept making sure my son was all right. Took a couple more years before I had all my things in place, finding vendors, getting the right person to do my website, logo design, all the things. I really took my time, really, truly set my intention. And I'm glad I did because I knew that this time around, I wasn't as interested in transactions. I knew this time around, all of my business was going to come from relationships, regardless of how long that took. That's a scary one, right? Mm-hmm. Because when we start a business, we got to make money. But I knew that I didn't want to do it that way. I did it that way the first time. It worked. I had success. But I can tell you that it wasn't as meaningful as it is now. Right. And so that's how I began. We officially launched in August of 2019, right before COVID. We were making all kinds of traction. Corporate contracts were being signed. All kinds of things were going on. I brought on a big hotel. And then I got sick with what was COVID and didn't know it at the time. And then that was in February of 2020. And then the shutdown happened in March. Yikes. But I will tell you that COVID created two categories of people. You either find that you were COVID blessed or you were COVID cursed. I wound up with a COVID blessing. I started meeting the people that I needed to meet. It slowed everybody's process down, and it increased my online presence, and people were asking for gifts all the time because people needed something to make each other feel happy. And I found that my company was being used for corporate networking events online, corporate happy hours, trying to keep all the employees connected. And then Christmas was a big one in sending those gifts. But as time has evolved, I'm going to take the basket out. We're rebranding at the end of the year because I don't put anything in a basket. All of my containers are unique, from branded boxes to things that clients can use aftermarket, which reminds them of who gave them the gift, which honestly is more important than putting your logo all over everything. I mean, logo is important, but it's kind of like Tabasco sauce. A little goes a long way. You don't want to go crazy with your spice. Set everything on fire, right? Because then your meaningful gift turns into a marketing ploy, and then nobody wants that, right? And so I tell my clients all the time to be cognizant of the why. And that's the first question I ask. What are we trying to accomplish with this gift? Some people look at me like I'm crazy. Others get it. And the ones that don't, I, go into some more detail as to why. But really, truly, this is a consultative approach. And that's what I am. I'm more of a marketing consultant than I am anything else, because I've been involved in business, multi-sector, for decades.
Yeah. I like that. And I think I love the Tabasco metaphor. That's great. I learn something new every time I do an episode. That'll be one I won't
Right?
forget, right? Like I'll be like the
Mhm.
Tabasco. You don't want to go crazy with that
Yeah.
stuff, right? But I think,
Yep.
yes, that marketing thing, we were kind of talking about that before. I think that marketing thing is huge because so many people think they have to put everything in the forefront, like get it all out there, right? And people attach meaning to things. And when they can feel things, it's kind of like what I use, like when you're watching a fight, like say a UFC fight, for example. When you're watching the
Right.
fight, that's all reptilian brain, right? Like it's bling, 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 bling. But
Mm-hmm.
then when they interview the fighter, right, and they start asking him, tell me what you were going through. Now, all of a sudden, we start putting meaning to this because we can
Yeah.
feel him, like what he's talking
Yeah.
about in his pain. We
Right.
start tapping into another part of the brain. And so I think this whole idea of how do we paint pictures, right? So I like the idea that you're saying, well, I'm going to pull the basket out. We move to this container that they can use again. There's meaning to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's great. It's smart. It's brilliant. And I give you kudos for the marketing aspect of that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I just got back from Las Vegas again. I go there a lot. I've got several clients out in Las Vegas. I'm very fortunate to work with some of the hotels on the Strip. And one of the trade shows that I just went to was for international meeting planners. And so I didn't spend tens of thousands of dollars on an exhibition booth because I couldn't work the booth and also meet everybody all at the same time. And so I showed up with one of my branded boxes that I provide to a lot of hospitality and professional sports, and walked around with it in my hand and made a lot of relationships, believe it or not, really connected with people. Again, very intentional, right? I was careful about who I stopped to talk to. I was careful about the things that I shared with them so that they knew that I was there to really, truly be an asset to them, as opposed to trying to sell them something. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because it's all about what value do you bring. Because people that are there, that are meeting planners, or they're with a visitors and convention bureau, are inundated all the time by people who either want something from them or want to sell them something without really regard for, does this provide you a benefit? Am I helping you? Am I going to truly be that resource for you? Which is how I purport myself whenever I talk to people. My goal is to be a resource for you. And once that stops, then, I'm not useful anymore, right? So I want to be useful to people. Um, and I can't do that if I don't at least start to talk to them about what it is that they need. So it's always me asking them questions as opposed to me talking about me.
Yeah.
But then the box was there, right? And it was an open door to say, well, this is one of the things that I do. It could help you, maybe not. I don't know, but I'd like to learn more. Is it okay if we exchange information and follow up after? And it resonated with some people because I've had several already reach out to me asking for information, asking me what I would recommend they use. And see, and that's the key, right? That was somebody who saw me as the consultant that I am. And it elevates my category when that happens. I'm no longer just this little old lady at her table with a gift basket, right? Because I'm not a little old lady, first of all.
No.
And I don't put anything in a basket. So.
Yes, you are a container. You bring your containers, and you're not
I
an old
do.
lady.
I am not an old lady. I don't go to Hobby Lobby, and oh my God.
And you bring
Someone
your
actually said that to me once. don't you go to Hobby Lobby and just get some stuff? And I said, no,
You
I'm
bring
too.
you bring your pizzazz with you, your sass and your pizzazz, and
I
you're
do. And I
fun.
am a little sassy, but
It's
that's
okay.
fun,
Yeah,
right?
I agree.
Brings fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So you've got some new announcements, new businesses coming up. Am I correct? Something
Yes.
in the
So
works?
last year I started the Studio Gourmet, which was a wholesale food distribution company meant to help people in my space who are doing this all over the country who need to source items and maybe can't make minimums and have challenges finding what they're looking for. Because I go to trade shows all the time looking for unique items that you're not going to see on your grocery store shelves. Because once that happens, the specialness of the gift goes right out the window, right?
Right.
Um, and then I've got Melon Cole coming. So now that we are truly stepping into the space that I had intention for us when I started the Frisco Gift Basket Company, which is luxury hospitality, large corporations, professional sports. And the Frisco Gifting Company, once I take the basket out, is still going to be around and we're still going to offer really cool stuff to people. But Melon Cole has been born. I own the domain name. We're working on website and logo right now. I'm super excited because this is really going to be dedicated to those very large both boutique and large hotel brands that everybody knows, right, from name recognition, as well as international hospitality. And this was a great show for me too, because we had some people there from foreign countries at their visitors and convention bureaus. And so Melon Cole is really going to be dedicated toward that side. And the smaller to medium sized businesses that still need my help and my counsel are going to get it through the Gift Frisco Gifting Company. But yeah, so I'll have 3 businesses by the time January rolls around.
Woohoo! Good for
Let's
you.
do this.
That's right. So, okay. So, this is great. I love everything that you're doing. And I, like I said, I think you're incredible. You're a doer maker kind of person, just make it happen kind of person. You know what I mean? And I love that about you because I can resonate with that. I'm kind of similar in that way when it comes to things. It's like, let's just get it done and make it happen. But the thing that I really love about what we do on this show is we really like to dive into the behind this dreamer, because I think as entrepreneurs, people or people that are dreamers, a lot of times people look at us and go, oh, well, you're just lucky, or you had this happen, or the things fell in alignment for you. And you and I both know that no, it does
Mm-hmm.
not work that way. There's a lot of things that
No.
go behind the scenes that we have to do to make that happen. And so in all of this, you're a mom, to 2 kids and one special needs, and which I think is incredible that you're being able to operate from that space, having that, and also operating your businesses and doing all those things. I want to know, maybe in all of this, what has probably been the most challenging thing for you? I mean, maybe in this journey going through opening the businesses or transferring from here, from there to here.
Right. I would say the hardest part that continues to be an issue is when my husband travels, because he has a job, right? And he's been traveling for his job for 20 plus years out of our 32-year marriage. Um, it was a lot easier to manage when my daughter was the only child for the first 13 years of her life, right? And as a neurotypical kid, it wasn't a whole lot to worry about. Once I had Chad, but see, when I had my son, I had quit my corporate job, and that's when I had started this gifting company in 2005 on the side to get it going before I quit my corporate job 3 years before he was born. Then when he was born, I quit my corporate job and moved into this space 100% full time. But the challenge has been when he's out of town and now I'm juggling everything, right? Because that's meal prep and cleaning the house and doing laundry, making sure he goes where he needs to go. And every day of the week after school, he's either got occupational therapy, he's got other kinds of therapy, he's got a golf lesson, right? He's got church on Wednesday nights. And so I find, like last night, I was sending emails at 11 o'clock p.m. because I got stuff to do. I had an IEP on Tuesday that took over 2 hours. So that was 2 hours out of my day, huge chunk from 9:15 till after 11 before I got home. And so it's those kinds of things. And I don't mind. My priority is, always has been, and always will be my kids first, right? Because it was my choice to have children. I wanted these 2 babies and I pour into them like no other. Um, but I would say juggling that time, and I've found myself really having to take a step back and go, where can I delegate some of this elsewhere? And then where can I detach myself? And I think that as all women, we go through that, right? A lot of us are married, not all. A lot of us have kids, but not all. But the ones that do, we find ourselves torn, okay? And we find ourselves feeling guilty when things fall through the cracks, because they are. Sometimes the bathrooms just don't get clean the way I'd like them to be in a timely manner because I got other stuff going on. I've got a pile of laundry like no other sitting down waiting for me right now. And guess what? It's going to have to wait because when we're done, I got meetings and deliveries to make. So I had to learn to detach myself from those awful feelings that sneak in because they can really detract you from your goals. And I will say this, any ladies that are listening, you are more than just a mom. You are more than just a wife. And you're entitled to go pursue the dreams that you want for you. Okay? This life is for you because eventually your kids grow up, okay? And they move out of the house and they go on with their own lives. And then what's left for you? Right? And so it's okay that the house isn't clean. It's okay that you didn't get to vacuum. And if you have a husband that gets mad, you can say, well, if it bothers you that much, this is where the outlets are. Have a good time.
Boom. I love it, Melanie.
Sorry, this is a partnership. You want to talk about partnerships? That's what a marriage really is. And I grew up the opposite of that, right? Very East Coast, conservative family. Female roles were extremely defined. Italian, patriarchal kind of a situation in my house where girls were meant to do the housework. Boys were meant to go make the money. No, not in my world. When I got married, my marriage is the opposite of that. I love to cook, so I cook because I want to. My husband does the dishes every night.
Wow.
Every night.
This
So,
is so
ladies, it can be done.
This is good, Melanie, because I was going to ask you, your next question was going to be, as a mom with a special needs kid, any advice that you could offer? This is so great, but you kind of hit upon all the points that I like to talk about, because for one, I'm in that space now where my kids are grown up now. So I'm sort of kind of empty nesting now. My youngest is traveling, my middle's in and out, the oldest is married. And I can honestly, I think about this because as a mom in that space, like, I feel like, first of all, there's no manual to parenting. There's never a manual to parenting. You learn as you go, right? It's like everything we do in life. Parenting is nonlinear, just like owning a business. You just when you think you have it figured out, you have absolutely nothing figured out.
Right.
And I cannot imagine being in this space now where I'm at and not having something that is mine. Like, because I have been a mom in my children's lives. I've been out of corporate for 26 years. I've been in my children's lives, homeroom mom, PTA mom, field trip mom, like Girl Scout leader, all of those pieces. And I've had something for myself the entire time that has been happening. I've always had an outlet that was mine. So I see so many moms get into this space. We're on a whole nother conversation, but see so many moms get into this space when they get into that emptiness and they don't have anything. They don't know how, they can't go back to work. They don't have anything and they're just stuck. And so, yes, when you mentioned earlier about that you are something more and the not feeling guilty, that was something that I as a parent wrestled with very early on with my children, the feeling guilty. Like, am I leaving them, with dad for a while, or am I leaving them with the sitter temporarily? Like sitter was like, they never went to a daycare. That we had like those, like somebody might come in to babysit or like a drop off situation, but it was never like full-time babysitting, but I would have those moments. And then I really got to a place where I was like, no. Because here's my theory in this, and for people listening, when you're better, your family's better. When you're healthy, your family's healthy. And so when you're doing things that you enjoy doing, that's adding value to who you are as an individual, you show up differently.
Yeah, for sure. And we all need our cup filled, right? However we get there, whether it's church or a women's Bible study or to go read a book for half an hour, whatever it is, watch your favorite TV program. I don't care. Go for a walk, spend time with the dog. Start crocheting, whatever it is. We all need something. That's why hobbies are important. But I will say that for women, there's a lot of pressure on us to do everything the right way, whatever that means, right? And to be in those roles. Yeah. And I bucked that system a long time ago, where I said, you know what? No, I'm more than just what you're trying to make me, which is the maid, and I'm not interested in that. And I swore up and down when I was a teenager, I was never going to get married or have kids because my vision of what marriage looked like didn't match how I felt on the inside. I didn't like what I saw. So, but then here I am. I got married at 21. I've been married for 32 years and have 2 kids. I have a 27-year-old daughter and my son is 14. So,
girl, you're giving me chills because I feel like you and I be sisters from another father or something. What is that saying they say? because
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was the same way. I was like, I'm never getting married. I'm not having kids.
Mhm.
Like, I'm not doing
Yep.
any of those goals. Like,
Yep.
no,
Yeah, because it looked like it sucked. Yes. No,
And
thank you.
my family is kind of East Coasters too, so
Yeah,
I get
see? All
some
the
of that.
same. And it really doesn't matter the ethnic background. That
Yeah.
East Coast mentality is the same about where women belong. And
Mhm.
it was ingrained in us. And it
Yeah.
was evident to me and my sister that my brother had way different parameters than we did.
Mm. Yeah.
Way different.
Well, good for you. You're
Yeah.
rocking it, girl. I love it. I love the whole just yeah. I think you sometimes
Thank
you just
you.
got to fight for yourself, and you got to be your own voice and advocate. And you mentioned all these
You
things they
do.
can do. And hey, if it's a business, go start yourself a business,
Go
right? Because we're
start
all
yourself a business and don't be told no, and get a mentor. Find somebody who's willing to pour into you. I do that for people all the time, whether I set an attention or not. If I have somebody and I'm having a conversation and I hear that they're having a struggle, and if I have an idea that hits me that can help them, I'm like, hey, if you don't mind my saying, how about this? 9 times out of 10, they're reaching back out to me going, oh my God, that was brilliant. I can't believe I didn't think of that. Thank you. You're
yeah.
welcome. Go get them. Because I'll tell you something else that I struggle with right now. People look at me, especially ones in my own industry, with envious eyes and with jealous eyes and covetous eyes, right? And I see people in other industries that kind of view me the same way, right? Because here they think, oh, gift basket, whatever, your little business. And then they hear what I'm doing and it's like, well, where does she get off getting clients like that? And how did you do that? And I will tell you, nobody has overnight success. That doesn't exist. So when you see somebody on the precipice of making it really big, or at a point where they've really starting to make some inroads in their business and they're hitting those next levels, right? Kind of like I am. Don't be mad. Be happy for me. Because in this short amount of time, we haven't nearly had enough time to talk about the struggles that I went through to get where I am right now. Nobody knows about failed business partnerships, how I've been screwed over, how people have stolen money from me. We haven't scratched the surface in our short amount of time, but I can tell you, I'm the rule, not the exception. When you see people finally getting there, I encourage you to get out of your own way. Don't be jealous. Be happy for them, knowing that your turn is coming, right? It's going to happen for you too. You just got to go through your process. Pay your dues, I guess, however you want to put it. But for me, that's where I'm at. I have been working decades to get here, right? I started this in 2005. Before then, going through all the jobs and doing what I've been doing, I've been in sales since I was 16 years old. You're talking about a sales career of 37 years, okay? I didn't get here by mistake. I didn't get here by accident. It took time. This was a road well traveled and a big journey. So I encourage you all, when you see people hitting it big and having those moments that are exciting for them, be happy for them, because yours is going to come too.
Yeah, that's beautiful. No, and I agree with you. I think that there is no overnight success. And we've kind of touched upon that throughout this whole thing. People, they see the outside. It's kind of like social media. They see the outside. They don't know what's going on the other
Right.
side of things. And
Right.
we all have, there is no shortcut to success. There really isn't. Every once in
Mm-mm.
a while, somebody does something that is, like Facebook, or something is unique and it's
Mm-hmm.
brilliant and it hits somewhere, but
Right.
we're not, that doesn't happen in normal space as an entrepreneur. And so we have to,
No.
or any, not even just even about entrepreneur, any
Yeah.
real big goal that you want to
And,
succeed in
and any
life.
job,
Yeah.
that you might have. I've had the benefit of a lot of really great sales trainers too, because I've been in corporate sales for a long time. And we always used to be told this: the only place in the world where success comes before work is in the dictionary.
Mm, yeah. Love it.
Right?
Yeah.
Alphabetically, that's it. That's the only place that success comes before work, is in the dictionary. Think about that, everybody listening.
Yeah.
Got to put the
Awesome.
work in. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, you said so many great things, and I know we're going to run out of time here, but I did want to ask you one final question before we round this out. What have you learned about yourself in this journey? You've said I feel like you touched upon several things in this, but any real big takeaways for you?
Oh my. Yeah, I've learned I can. I have learned I can. I set a goal and I reach it.
I love it.
Absolutely.
It's huge. And
Yeah.
that's powerful, because a lot of people struggle with that, right? That's a
Yeah.
confidence thing. A lot of people, and the only way really to achieve that is to have these small successes that keep compounding. Like,
Yes.
right? You just keep having
Yes.
these But to get those successes, you also have to have the failures, the hiccups, the
Yeah, the
obstacles, right?
misses. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I will tell you, if you build the relationships the right way, they will carry you through every single time.
Yeah, absolutely. We're gonna have to get you back on another time
I'd
talk
love
about
it.
this whole relationship thing because I feel like we've got so much more to talk about. But I know you've got places to be, and I'm so grateful that you jumped on here today to share some wisdom with our audience and
Sure.
sprinkle some of your little sunshine on there. So, if anybody listening to our show wants to learn a little bit more about what you got going on, this with the to be container, take it out the basket. Where do we want to
Yep.
send them?
Okay, so they can reach me. They can go on the website, right? www.thefriscogiftbasketcompany.com. They can email me, Melanie at thefriscogiftbasketcompany.com. And actually, and on the website is my cell phone number. They can call me if they want to.
All right, perfect. Well, we'll make
I'm on
sure to.
LinkedIn.
Okay.
Hmm.
When this gets ready to go out, we'll make sure all the links and everything are attached so that they
Yeah,
know
that'd be great.
where to find you. Well, it's been
Yeah.
awesome, awesome, awesome. And so, of course, we do want to say to our audience, if you enjoy our show, please be sure you give us a rating on iTunes and Facebook. We can't do this without you. Hit that subscribe button on the YouTube. That's where all the videos are. Go over there. You'll have fun on those. And we want to leave you with, of course, a final thought. In order to live the extraordinary, you must start. And every start begins with a decision. You guys take care, be safe, and be kind to one another. We will see you next time.